So, good morning. Have you ever thought about the irony of paying someone to collect your food waste and they turn it into compost, and then you going down the garden centre and buying compost? So I'm here today with Anthony, who is a waste reduction volunteer who this year has been volunteering for Cheshire East Council for 15 years. And we are going to pick his brains about how to compost. So what do you think about that? Giving your food waste to somebody else and then going down the garden
That's
centre?
a load of rot.
Oh.
It's wasted money, yes. Get it down your garden.
Well, talking of rotting, I was thinking of you this morning, Anthony, because I have brought last night's dinner and breakfast waste food, and I've saved them for you.
All right. Thank you very much. Banana skins.
Yeah.
We've got tea bag too. Great.
Yeah. So this is Anthony's compost bin. How did you get started with composting, Anthony?
My dad taught me.
Okay. And did your dad have any particular qualifications, or did he just learn as he went along the way?
He picked it up from his father.
Okay. Down the generations then.
Down the generations, yeah. So we've, it's been a habit. It's been a family habit. If it's biodegradable, goes in the compost.
Right. Okay.
So this is it. There's greasy papers and all sorts in here.
So your food waste comes from your kitchen down to the bottom of your garden, tucked away, and that's as far as it travels from a carbon footprint point of view. Yeah. Instead of being loaded onto a truck and being taken somewhere. So a lot more convenient and lower carbon footprint.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you've never done it before, Anthony, how'd you get started?
Get yourself a bin, set it up somewhere. You don't want it. Ideally, you want it within range of the kitchen.
Yeah.
But it's generally preferred to keep it out of sight, isn't it? So.
Yeah, and if you don't like keeping the food waste in a caddy in the kitchen, you just bring it out every time, and the benefit is you get your steps in.
Yeah. And you see the world fresh, and I bring it out first thing in the morning and get some fresh air.
Fresh air, hear the birds singing in the morning.
And I happen to, first thing in the morning, I can comb my hair as well, because long hair takes a bit more combing.
And the brambles comb it for you.
Yeah, I've got this bramble above.
Well, we've already seen your bay tree, and we're very envious, aren't we? So,
yeah.
What are the basic rules if you're trying to get started? What are the basic rules?
Time.
Okay, so
just give it time to go.
So do you mean time in the form of it takes longer than it does if it's picked up and taken somewhere where they've got all singing or dancing equipment? This is a natural process.
This is just drop it in here and leave it.
Okay. And
eventually I shall dismantle this and take the top off into a wheelbarrow and take the bottom away, use that, reassemble the composter, put the top back in again.
Okay, so go back to basics, Anthony.
And that's it, perhaps once a year.
Once a year you harvest the compost?
At the most,
and that's enough for your garden?
Yep.
Okay, so going back to basics, you're starting with an empty bin. How do you get started?
Just put it in.
Okay. So is this what they call the browns?
This is browns, yeah.
Okay, so what's the browns?
So the browns is anything that's woody based, no green to it, and cardboard.
Okay. Egg cartons?
Egg cartons, fine, yep. Anything that is essentially wood, either wood or wood pulp.
Yeah.
Same stuff, yeah.
Okay.
That's the browns.
Okay. And what does the browns do to the composition of the compost?
They allow air to get in,
Okay.
as well as balance up the nitrogen from all the green stuff that's in here.
Okay. Oh, you mentioned nitrogen. That's getting technical. Go on. Explain that.
So nitrogen is just fertility and moisture and stuff like that. So
Okay.
it's the commoner garden. It's the protein building things. So, but this banana peel, that's one. The tea bags, oddly enough, are green because they come from the tip of the shoot of the tea plants.
Okay, so tea bags count as green. I probably would have got that wrong.
Yeah.
So
Easy. That.
So
just as hair is a green.
Oh, so you put hair in your compost?
Hair goes in compost. Yeah.
Right. I can see you don't add much to your compost in the way of hair. You like to hang on to it. Keeps you warm in winter.
It comes down the garden.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it gets combed out, and
yeah.
Yeah. So you might come across,
Yeah.
some hair knocking around. It's nesting season, so after that sort
so
of stuff.
if the birds don't steal it, it goes in there, and that is classed as a brown? No?
It looks brown, but it's green. It's got got protein in it.
That's another one that's going to confuse me. Okay.
Because hair is protein.
Right.
Not that you can digest it yourself.
Yeah.
But other critters can.
Okay. So that's a green. So tea bags
green.
and hair are greens.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. That would have been a beginner's mistake for me.
Yeah.
And you said to me in the past something about old socks if they're cotton.
Cotton? Yep.
Or completely cotton.
Completely cotton, yeah.
So it's natural.
Which is damn lucky if you find completely cotton, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what else in the way of greens then? So we're adding
because cotton comes from a natural plant. It's not man-made.
Yes. So if you take it back a stage, you're adding plant.
Yeah.
Right.
As same as wool. But of course, we're talking about fibre from an animal being protein, fibre from a plant being brown. So that counts as brown.
Right, okay.
Cotton knickers, believe it or not, are brown.
Okay.
Like it or not.
Yeah, okay, moving on. Right, so talk to me about greens then. For your average household, what would you add in there that's green?
In green, so this is, just about anything from the kitchens. So
okay.
That's a lettuce leaf. There's a dead apple. Mango seed.
Eggshells?
Eggshells.
Can you add those?
Eggshells are in here, but they're neutral.
Okay. All right then.
I call them neutral anyway.
Yeah.
Cabbage.
Yeah. So any food waste.
Anything.
If you use your food caddy, that's great.
Yeah.
But going one step further in the circle of being sort of carbon neutral. And
anything that's past being eaten in here.
Right. Okay. That's great. And what about citrus? Does it matter? If you have, say, you have grapefruits for breakfast every morning, does it matter how much citrus?
Any amount of citrus, any amount of onion goes in.
Okay.
It's just wormeries that are fussy.
Right, got you. Okay, that's where I've learnt that from then.
This is a polyculture, so this is mixed community.
Right.
If the worms don't like it, they'll go away. Something else will take over.
Oh, okay. So can I just ask, is your compost bin going into the ground, or is there a base to it?
There isn't a base, no.
Okay, so is there anything you have to be careful of, with cooked food, or are those a no-no, or?
Yeah, you can. If there's bakeries, stuff like that, you can get rodents coming in.
So avoid bakery items and cooked food waste,
That's
sort of
right,
meats and fish and so on.
Yeah.
But pretty much organic stuff. And do you put garden greens in here at all, or?
Yeah.
Or mostly, is it mostly food?
If there's It's mostly food in this, but
Okay.
yeah, some greens I do end up putting in. Yeah.
Right.
Um,
So do you have from a time point of view, because everybody's busy, do you
Yeah.
have to do much other than walk down your garden on a nice morning, listen to the birds, throw in your waste from last night's dinner and this morning's breakfast, and go back in your kitchen? Is there much else you have to do?
that is it on the routine. Yeah.
So it does all the hard work for you without
Yeah.
you having to do anything.
Don't have to do the sausage.
And then, how do you know when the bottom half is ready? Do you just leave it 12 months?
I know it's been going long enough. There'll be some goodness at the bottom. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you just. So
Yeah.
this is the biggest.
This one hasn't got a door to it, so it's
Yeah.
a question of disassembling the thing.
Yeah. So, tip for the viewers is to get one with the door at the bottom, so you can harvest out the compost.
Well, they can be difficult to get at anyway,
Really, because of the weight of what's on top.
because of the small hatch and
Oh, okay.
yeah, you end up better just lifting it off.
Right. Okay. So you lift it off. You separate out the stuff that's not ready into a wheelbarrow. You take the bottom bit that's ready to use on the garden. You
Yeah.
throw what's in the wheelbarrow back into your compost bin, and you carry on. So
Yeah.
that's the bit that takes the most time.
Yeah.
And what's that? Half an hour in the garden, maybe 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But other than that, all you got to do is just put your food waste and your browns.
Yeah.
So we've got greens and browns. So as you're going along, if you notice that's looking a bit mushy, what do? A bit wet?
Ooh, it doesn't tend to, because it's free draining. It's free draining at the bottom.
And that's the benefit of having it
But
without a base.
yeah,
Okay.
but sometimes I do find the worms crawling up on the top.
Yeah.
But
So this is giving a
say-
habitat for wildlife,
Yeah.
and they are doing the work of turning your food waste into beautiful compost that you would normally go to the garden centre and buy. So it's a win-win. It's an
Yeah.
environment and habitat for wildlife,
evidence.
and you get free compost.
Yeah. So there's all sorts living here.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe some slugs and snails coming in.
yeah. But people are going to go,
Well, nice.
oh, but I don't want slugs in the garden.
There's different slugs.
Ah, okay.
You might have
So
noticed.
this attracts nice slugs, does it?
Which attracts nice slugs, yeah. Yeah. This is the big black ones.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
And they'll only come to your compost. They won't be all over the garden.
they'll go for any weak plants, generally.
Weak plants.
But
Right.
yeah,
Which we're going to die anyway.
yeah, which are struggling. So
Yeah.
yeah, generally the little grey ones, they're the pest, and
And that's not what this attracts.
yeah, no.
Okay, so there you are. That's the myth exploded for you. Good slugs only, and they'll only kill what's going to die anyway. So I bet that's a myth that people were worried about. So this is really great, and I think this is enough for people to get started. So you're going to save money because
Yep.
you're not going to have to buy compost from the garden centre, and you're going to be reducing your carbon footprint by creating the compost in your own garden. So you just need a garden, a little bit of space. You don't have to buy a compost bin. You could get some pallets and make one, couldn't you really?
Yep.
Make up your own, and you can get started, and instead of putting the food waste into your food caddy, you can start putting it in this bin, and just make sure you put some browns in. Just remind me what browns are, apart from the knickers.
Anything that's based on wood
Okay,
or cotton,
yeah. So
Yeah.
Cardboard.
cardboard.
So that's packaging if you want, you know.
Yeah.
Cardboard packaging. We've got some of that in there, I see.
Chip wrappers,
Yeah,
because that kind of thing is not good in the recycling department.
yeah.
They don't like the grease.
And I see you've got a bit of a newspaper there. So do you tend to scrunch them up just so that they don't get too soggy in a flat mass?
I don't personally bother too much, but yeah,
Right.
sometimes helps. Yeah.
Okay.
if they're fluffed up a bit.
Okay, so if you'd like to give us some feedback on this video, what are your barriers? If you've got a garden, you've got the space, what are your barriers to home composting? Let us know in the comments, and we will include them in our next video. Thanks very much.